Hi, my name is Stephanie and I'm a big fan of all things music, movies, physical media and pop culture, and today I wanted to talk about my April favourites. So I've made a list here of my favourite things in April, which covers music, movies, physical media and things I was into. I've done this as a way to keep me more intentional about things that I watch and listen to and do and build on that in that way. And some of my favorite things from April I covered in my March favorites video too, because I'm still going with that certain thing and that's important to me as well. So with that said, these are my movie favorites from April. I watched quite a few movies in April, which I was very happy about, and I enjoyed majority of them. It was a pretty good movie watching month, and a lot of them were rewatches, but a lot of them were new, and I went to the cinema a couple of times. So with that said, the new movies that I watched in April that really stood out to me were Swingers from 1996 and Earth Girls Are Easy from 1988. I've had Swingers on DVD for nearly a year. I've always just had it sitting there just because it's always been on my watch list, but something drew me towards it last month and I finally sat and watched it. I'm a big fan of like Vince Vaughn and Jon Favreau. Like, I love Four Holidays. I'm a big fan of Elf, and they've obviously worked together on various movies and things like that. But I really enjoyed this movie and it was kind of wholesome. It was more wholesome than I expected it to be. And I just loved the vibes of the apartments and the clubs and the casinos and all of the places this movie was set in. I just found it really enjoyable and I could see myself like rewatching it. I bought Earth Girls Are Easy the same day as I bought Swingers, so I've had them for the same period of time, and I had seen many stills from this movie and thought that it looked really pretty. And that's one of my criteria for movies, is that it has to be pretty. I don't like watching things that look not nice. Like, I at least need to enjoy a movie visually, and this movie does that. This movie is full of color, it's full of like 80s charm, it's a musical, it's like a cheeky comedy as well, and the cast is like stacked. Like Gina Davis, Jim Carrey, Jeff Goldblum are there, and it's just lots of fun. It's just an easy fun watch. In terms of movies I saw that were like brand new and that I saw in the cinema, I went to the cinema twice. I saw The Drama at a pre-screening at a local cinema, which was awesome, and I saw Michael. So I was very excited for The Drama, and like I said, I went to a pre-screening. It was really cool. They had like a wedding book, I forget what they're actually called, but like you could sign it, which was really fun, so we signed it. I was in a cinema full of people that were excited about seeing the movie and excited to watch, and who went along for the journey and just let it happen. I really enjoyed the movie The Drama. I ended up seeing it again a week ago in the cinema as well, and I just think it's a really interesting movie. I'm a big fan of Dream Scenario, which is a film that's also made by that director, and I just enjoy movies that make people think and kind of make them uncomfortable to a point where they have to think, and it creates discussion as well. I also loved the soundtrack in The Drama. I loved the apartment. I loved the performances. I loved just the way that this movie actually built up to something. Sometimes I find that movies struggle to build up to a something, but this one, obviously, like, this isn't a spoiler because obviously there's a wedding involved, but obviously from the beginning, you know, we have to get to an end point, which is a wedding. I think that whole aspect is done so well because it just builds the whole time. And then the second movie I saw in the cinema was Michael, which I was very excited to see because I'm a big Michael Jackson fan, and I knew at the very least hearing these amazing songs, some of which are my favorites of all time, in a cinema was gonna sound amazing, and I was right because it did sound amazing. And I thought Jafar Jackson did an amazing job. He sounded exactly like Michael when he was talking. I think that if you don't know much about Michael Jackson, or if you're a fan or anything like that, like, it's a good starting point this movie to then get you in deeper and then like watch the actual music videos and to like listen to the albums and all of that. I also bought the soundtrack to the movie because I just have to. I own these songs already because I own all the albums, but it had to be done. In terms of movies that are rewatches and that I've seen lots of times, the ones that stood out to me were Back to the Future, Back to the Future 2, Meet the Fockers, Twilight, Punch Drunk Love, and U2 Rattle and Hum. I ended up watching Back to the Future 1 and 2 as a double feature. I just love these movies so much. The third one's great too, but it was late at night. It was right after I'd seen the drama for the first time, and I don't know, I just stayed up and decided to watch 2 more movies. I love these movies. I love their soundtracks. I love their place in pop culture and how like most people know about Back to the Future and love it. There's not many people I know that either haven't seen it or don't like it. But again, I just find it very uplifting and moving, and I'm like, this is just like movie making at its best. Like, this is what movies should make you feel like. Next is Meet the Fockers. I've seen this so many times. It's one of my favorite comedies and movies ever. I just laugh at the same things every time, and it just brings me a lot of comfort, a lot of joy, which is what comedies should do. And yeah, I love this movie so much. Next is Twilight. This is a movie I'll never get sick of. I love sitting and watching Twilight with my friends. I love when everyone gets this sort of like urge to like just sit and rewatch Twilight, because then we all just lock in and do it, and it's so much fun. I love a Twilight marathon, but this month I just watched the first one, which is fine. I love it. Next was Punch Drunk Love, which is a Paul Thomas Anderson movie, and I'm on kind of like a PTA kick at the moment. I really want to rewatch Boogie Nights when I get a chance, because the first time I saw it I was like 16, and I know that I'll appreciate it a lot more now. And I appreciated this one a lot more now, even though the first time I saw it was like 8 years ago maybe. Yeah. And I need to fill in the gaps in my Paul Thomas Anderson movie watching. I have to see things like Magnolia and Phantom Thread and a couple others. But I've seen things like Inherent Vice, The Master, Licorice Pizza, Boogie Nights. I've probably forgotten like a major one that I'm going to be really annoyed about after I stop filming. I've seen a lot, but I need to catch up on a couple more. And Rattle and Hum, which is a music concert documentary about U2. It's great. I love the live performances in this. I find this to be really inspiring to watch. I own the soundtrack on vinyl and on CD, and I owned the vinyl before I'd even seen this, and then after I watched this properly I needed the CD. So yeah. In April, I added a couple more DVDs to my collection, which is so tame for me because I used to buy like stacks at a time, but I've had like some self-control in the last little while. However, this has reopened my need to buy piles at a time, and in the time since I bought The Housemaid and Weapons, I've bought many more DVDs, vinyl, and CDs, and I'm happy about it because my collection is always growing, as anyone's should. Part of being a person is journeying through different works of art and exploring different things, and there's never an end to it. There's always something new coming out or something new that you're introduced to. So I think it's always important to keep growing, and if you have a collection, it's important to keep growing your collections. So I'm back on buying lots of physical media again. In terms of music, I was obviously listening to lots of different artists, lots of different songs. I have playlists set for all of this stuff. I bought Graceland by Paul Simon at the end of March, and it's an album I keep going back to, especially certain songs from it. I just love it so much. And then same goes with like Paul McCartney and this soundtrack, because it's just so chill. It's full of Wings and Paul McCartney songs, and I love these songs so much. In terms of albums that I explored and listened to and enjoyed, I was listening to The Car by Arctic Monkeys a bit. I love that album. I bought it when it came out. I think it's my favorite Arctic Monkeys album. I think it's also pretty underrated. I own that one on CD. It's just up in my shelf at the moment. The next album that I listened to and enjoyed was Cigarettes After Sex by Cigarettes After Sex from 2017. I really enjoyed that album. I need to get that on CD. Next is Breakfast in America by Supertramp from 1979. I need a copy of this album as well. I knew all the like big songs, but I really enjoyed listening to this album. But also what I've decided to do is make like a playlist for every month, and I've decided to put in 10 songs that I've been listening to kind of non-stop throughout the month, and then put it here within this video. So this playlist has 10 songs. These are the songs that were on my April playlist. I Know What I Know by Paul Simon, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me, the Dusty Springfield version, K by Cigarettes After Sex, When Tomorrow Comes by Eurythmics, Ready Steady Go by Harry Styles, World Where You Live by Crowded House, With a Little Luck by Paul McCartney and Wings, She Drives Me Crazy by Fine Young Cannibals, Do 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 Da 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 by The Police, and Half a Sky by OK Lou and Underscores. In terms of books, I started reading again, and I've been reading Al Pacino's memoir Sonny Boy. I'm a massive fan of Al Pacino. He's like my favorite actor ever. I've seen majority of his movies and I own majority of his movies. I don't know, I just think he's the best. I always enjoy anything he does, so I've been reading this and I've been really enjoying it. I'm pretty sure I mentioned this in my last video too, but I've really been enjoying using my handy cam again. I love filming literally anything, so I've been very much enjoying this. Also been using my digicam to take photos instead of using my phone, which has been a lot more fun. I also tried getting back into playing like chill games on my Switch. So I bought Stardew Valley, but I honestly don't think it's for me. I think it's really fun. It stresses me out. I don't know why. So I've gone back to playing Animal Crossing, which was a game that I was playing from like lockdown in 2020. I don't know, I find it really cute and very calming. So when I've had time, which hasn't been often, I have a little check-in on Animal Crossing. Then last month as well, I found my old iPod Touch from 2013, I think I bought it. It's not charged right now, but I have like so many songs on it, which was like so fun. And I was taking photos of this for a second because it was lots of fun. And then something else that I got into was I was looking through some of my old stuff and I found like the magazines that I had when I was like a kid and a teenager. Here are some of my like tween magazines, which was like so fun to look through, and I'm so happy that I like keep everything that I've like ever owned ever, because this is so fun to look through, and I find them to be really important. You know, I love keeping old parts of me. Like I will never get rid of this stuff. Here's like a chunk more, but yeah, there's heaps more down here next to me, but it's too heavy to lift everything at once. But how fun. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I love it. I think that's mainly all of the things that stuck out to me in April. I did watch and listen and do a lot, which I'm very happy about. That's very important to me. And in May, I'm continuing with all of this as well, which makes me very happy. But yes, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.